Hi everyone and welcome in the second video of computer memory. In the first video, we already discussed about the primary storage and its different types. And now in this, we are going to learn about the secondary storage devices. So let's first understand the objectives that what we are going to learn in this. We are going to understand that why secondary storage is required, what are its different types, and what is cloud storage. So let's get started. Whenever we talk about the secondary storage devices, we always compare it with main memory. And we need to understand 3 points of difference between it. Number one, main memory or primary memory is said as that because it is directly accessible by the CPU, because it is directly connected to the CPU. However, when we talk about the secondary storage, it is next to primary storage and therefore it is not directly accessible by the CPU. Number two, main memory or primary memory is volatile in nature, which means that as soon as you will shut down the computer, all the data will go away. However, the secondary storage devices retain the data. The data remains forever. And number three, that RAM and ROM are the two different types of main memory. However, we are going to have a lot of different types of secondary storage in this coming video. So let's get started. Whenever we talk about the secondary storage devices, we need to know the three key terms. It is long-term storage, it is non-volatile, and it is having higher capacity, which means primary memory can store less amount of data. However, secondary storage devices can get more data. And these are the different types of it. We are going to understand each one of it one by one. But at the same point of time, if you are preparing for exams, you need to know that a 1 mark question can be based on the full forms which are related with each of its type. So you should also know about that what are the full forms of each of them. So now let's get started. The first one is the hard disk drive, which is also known as HDD. What are the main highlights of it? That first, it stores the data permanently. Second, operating system, which is the main software because of which your computer works, it is saved in hard disk drive, and all our other files that we save in our computer. It is designed with a lot of magnetic disk. As you can see in the picture, there is not just one magnetic disk, but it is a collection of magnetic disk, and therefore hard disk can store a lot of data in form of these blue sections which are known as sectors. So this diagram also explains that what are the different parts of hard disk drive that you can see. And this is the read write head with the help of which all the data that you require out of the whole storage that hard disk drive contains, you can read it precisely with that. Also, because this is a hard disk drive and the secondary storage device, therefore data retains permanently on it. So this is the first type of secondary storage. Now, when we talk about the second type of storage, that is the very new invention, or you can say that it is better than hard disk drive, is solid state drive. Number one, when we talk about the hard disk drive, it has some movable parts like read write heads, we have the platter of disk. But here when we talk about SSD, solid state drive, it doesn't contain any moving part. It has all the data stored in form of the memory chips, and because of that it is faster in read and write. It is more durable, means it can have longer life than hard disk drive, and it uses less power. So if you compare between HDD and SSD, SSD is better. However, because it is better in performance, therefore it is expensive also. But as the property of any secondary storage device, it stores the data permanently. Now let's talk about the third type. But before that, let's get a quick question. If you have HDD and SSD, what kind of memory is better? if you know that what is the difference between these two because of the moving parts and because of the flash memory chips, so you got the answer right, that SSD is faster than HDD. Even the kind of question where it asks for that which memory is expensive, then in that sense also you can say that SSD is expensive. This is one disadvantage of SSD over HDD. Now let's talk about the next type of memory, which are the optical drives. So when we talk about optical drives, they use the first important point, laser technology. Number two, there are different kinds of optical drives. CD, compact disc, DVD, digital versatile disc, and Blu-ray disc. Now the most common one are CD and DVD. Blu-ray disc people don't use very often in common. Why? Because they are very expensive. Because it uses blue laser technology, therefore we need specific disk drive to run this kind of a storage. Though if you compare between CD and DVD, Blu-ray disc have the most storage device in it, means it has the highest storage capacity than CD DVD, but because it is expensive and it uses a different kind of hardware, that's why we don't use it very often. There are different type of CD DVDs also, especially CD, not DVD. We are going to cover that also in a separate video. But right now we need to know that when we talk about CD DVD, we need to know their full form, and they are the category of optical drives which uses the laser technology to store data in it permanently. Now let's talk about the next and the most recent type of storage, that is the cloud storage. Now what do we mean by a cloud? Are we talking about the actual cloud? The answer is no. It means that we are having a computer which is in the remote location. We are not talking about our own computer. It is some remote storage computer which is known as server, which has its own large storage using HDD and SSD, and we can store data over there. Using our Gmail account, we can have this cloud. That means as a user, I need to make an account, and over there I can store all my data. So my physical computer storage can be saved if I am storing the data in the cloud storage. These days, cloud storage is popular because you do not need to buy a physical memory. You can just purchase a space in the cloud and you can just save your data forever. That is why these cloud storage are very useful these days. After all this kind of discussion of different type of memories, now there is a question for you. Depending upon its speed, price, and capacity, that means storage capacity, how we can, keep HDD, SSD, optical disk, and cloud storage in line. Think about it, and you are going to know the answer. That whenever we talk about the speed, cloud storage is the lowest. Why? Because you need internet for that, and the highest one is SSD. When we talk about the price, the most costly one is SSD because it is a physical device. For cloud, if you want to have a lot of storage, then you need to pay on monthly basis. HDD is again a physical device, but it is less costly, and optical discs are the lowest in that. Capacity wise, cloud storage is the highest because you can purchase as much space as you want, then HDD, then SSD, and then the optical drive. So I hope with this kind of question you are very clear with the concepts, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the channel for more videos. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.